Hello everyone, it's Pepper again. I'm doing another speed paint for you guys, though this one's a bit different. Today I'm going to be drawing my D&D character. Though by today, I don't mean that's how long I took her to draw. She took me about 13 hours total. Yeah, so this drawing is basically, well actually this is my second attempt at drawing her. Sadly, when I was drawing her the first time, I made a mistake with saving her, and she was in a file that I didn't want. So when I closed out of Photoshop and opened it back up later, all of the layers of the picture had been merged. And I don't know if that's a bad thing for everybody or if it's just for me, but based on like this kind of picture and how many parts there are to it, I really need the layers to be separate, so it just wasn't really working out. I'm still new with Photoshop, so I wasn't really sure how to fix it. So I kind of just decided to start over from scratch again. Thankfully, I didn't really get that far into the drawing, so it doesn't really bother me that I had to start over. Besides, I think the second one ended up looking a lot better. Also, I just want to apologize for my voice. I got a new microphone and it works great, it's just my voice doesn't want to behave today, so if it sounds off, just try to ignore it. Now with that being said, I'll talk about the picture and who she is. This is one of my D&D characters. Her name is Noelani, and she's a part of a new campaign. I've had her made for a long time actually, but I don't really play D&D often, or barely at all. But when I do play, I love it. And I love Noelani, so I decided to use her as my character. She was originally supposed to be a homebrewed character, but our DM is pretty new to it, so to make it easier on him, I stuck with the Air Genasi race. Those of you who don't know what an Air Genasi is, just think of Avatar: The Last Airbender, also known as one of the greatest shows in existence. So Noelani is an Air Genasi with a Warlock class. She's a character that's oddly interested in death, and she has kind of a dark humor in which some people might find disturbing. She's an overall cold character, but she has a soft spot for the other characters in the campaign, and enjoys traveling with them. At least that's what I've intended her character to be. Since I don't really play D&D much, I'm not really used to being her character. So there are times when I totally get out of character and she's just a lot more goofy than I planned her to be. So basically, she becomes more like me. So, that's my bad. Anyways, her backstory matches up with her personality pretty well. She has the Outlander background, so she used to be very distant towards others. She left her original home long ago, since nobody could really understand her, and she became obsessed with learning dark magic. So Noelani is very smart and does a lot of reading, so she taught herself how to use magic. As of now in the campaign, she's only level 1 Warlock, so she doesn't really know too many spells, though hopefully as she grows stronger, her spells will too. Noelani's design actually came long before I created her, or made her an actual character. I was in a class last semester in college just trying to get through the day, and I just started doodling in my sketchbook like I usually do. Fun fact about me, by the way, I love drawing skulls. I said that very casually. I don't know if that's weird or not, but yeah, I love drawing skulls. Any kind of animal skulls mostly, especially the western, like, typical skull that you'd see in a cowboy movie. I can't think of the animal off the top of my head right now, but yeah, I usually find those skulls very interesting to be worn as some kind of hat or mask. If you've watched my last speed paint, you might notice my original character, Puck. He wears one as a mask. So, yeah, basically I tend to do that a lot. When in doubt, just put a skull on their head or face. I should probably get out of the habit of doing that because it makes my work in character designs look a bit repetitive. But when it's something that interests me and actually looks pretty good, it's hard to stop. You could probably tell when I draw Ghost's character design, the mask on the side of her face kind of resembles a skull. So, whoops! And I'm getting off topic. But yeah, eventually I started drawing a person with a skull on top of her head, followed by a wreath of dead flowers and multiple long braids. I loved how this looked, and I kept drawing her, improving her design and adding more to it. Eventually I attached a name to her and started building up a personality to go along with her. So yeah, that's how Noelani came to be. Now moving on to something else you probably have noticed in the picture. She has a familiar, known as Cloud the Air Serpent, or, well, Cloud Dragon. Creative name, I know. Originally, he was just supposed to be a wisp of wind coming out of the eye of the skull on top of her head. Then I just started branching off of him until he became a monstrous little noodle. I like to think of the two as partners in crime, or lifelong companions because they complement each other so well. An air genasi, befriending a living gust of wind. Who saw that coming? He spends most of his time hanging out in the skull on top of her head, but when he comes out, he can manipulate and control his size or shape because he's made of air. He can't really attack or be attacked because he's made up of wind, so he's mostly useful because he can be very intimidating and, well, scare the pants off of enemies. So Cloud is like a little air dog. He is very protective of Noelani, and when she needs him, he's right there at her side. Even though Cloud can't be touched by anyone, I like to think that Noelani can touch him. Since she's an air genasi, it only makes sense that she can touch or pet a beast made out of wind. And he is her familiar, so that pushes more of the reasons in her favor. Now with that being said, I think I covered everything there is to know about Noelani. There isn't much there about her character yet because we haven't gotten that far in the campaign. But yeah, this is her. And now I will leave you alone to enjoy the rest of the video. Hope you enjoyed me talking to you, and I hope that I wasn't annoying. Also, if you want, you can subscribe to our channel and like the video to show your support. And with that being said, I will leave you alone. Goodbye!